No one has made money over the last 22 years.
Most people who are using our Smartfolios, and most of our Smartfolios are pretty heavy into the S&P as by design, which means that they've spent over a year probably with more than 90% of the time, like with their watching their account kind of do nothing. And there may be, and I know for certain this is true for certain people. They're like, should I be invested in something else? Right? Should I be not just plugging my money into the Smartfolio because it's not doing anything? Should I pull out my money in from my Smartfolio because it's not doing anything anyway, and wait until it wants to get back in or something like that? I know we can't give advice, but what are your comments for someone that is maybe feeling that way or thinking that way?
Well, two thoughts on that. One, if you put your money somewhere else and you had your money invested, you might have also, as I pointed out originally, over the last 2 years, the market hasn't done anything except go up 10%, down 30 or 40%, then up about 10%. So it has gone places, but it ultimately ended up behind the starting line. So in other words, the market hasn't gone anywhere. In Flip's case, all we've done is smoothen the road also to go nowhere. Flip's design is to take profits and take opportunity when it exists. And over the last year and almost 2 years, no opportunities really have existed unless you wanted to experience pain. So, for example, Tesla's up 100% over a month and a half period. It went from about $100 a share to $200 a share, and it's now backed off to say about $180 a share. But it's doubled. But hold on, if you had held Tesla prior to that, it went down 70%. So remember, everybody, when something goes down as much as 70%, where Elon Musk lost his a spot to say he is the richest man in the world, he fell underneath that, and then he rallied back when his stock went up 100%. But his stock is still down over 50%. So is kind of interesting, and as good as that company is, it experiences huge volatility. So no one has made money over the last 22 years. Now, where you can make money now is some of these Smartfolios, the energy Smartfolios, are offering dividends. Dividends have the unique characteristic that no matter what happens, you should get the dividend unless the company decides to pull back on its dividends. Most dividends are paid generally by oil companies, energy-based companies. We have portfolios like that. So if a person is inclined so, and again, any opinion I express here is just my own, if a person is so inclined, at the end of the day, you may want to say, hey, you know what? I'll just take the dividends and take my bet on that. If the market's going to go nowhere, let's bet that the market doesn't go anywhere for another year. Well, then you at least get the dividends, and some of those dividends are between 8 and 10%. I don't think anybody minds making 8 or 10%. That's one thing. Another thing people could do in the interim is, if they feel that the market is still going to go nowhere, or their Smartfolio that they have right now isn't going to go anywhere, they have the opportunity to buy short-term money market ETFs that could pay, some of them pay as much as 4%. So if you have something making 4%, it's extremely liquid. If a time occurs in the next 6 months where you might say, you know, the market seems to be going somewhere, you can pull it out of your short-term dividend product, and you can invest in a Smartfolio then. Those are things anybody can do and may or may not want to do. My instinct is to stay the course, like we're always told to do, no matter where you're at, because the Smartfolios have a way of all of a sudden getting involved in something, and they buy creeping markets that turn into leaping markets. Remember, creepers turn into leapers. Right now, the market is not even creeping along. It is limping. It's not creeping. It is limping along with the desire to go higher because it just has been, feels like it's been oppressed for so long. However, again, we are at extremely high inflation, the highest in over 40 years. Yes, maybe it's lightening, but that doesn't mean that if the interest rates are 5% and the inflation is 5%, which is what it came in at, what is the value of your money? It's not going to do any better in a stock that really, in most cases, aren't going to be able to offer you much more until something happens, some catalyst, probably from the government or the Federal Reserve,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to say we have a clear path. So currently, the machine learning aspect, AI, doesn't see any clear path at all. And that's why it's keeping you out of the market. So my instinct in what I'm doing is, again, this is my personal thing, is I kind of am looking at dividends right now. I think we kind of can make a simple bet that maybe the market does nothing. But if it does nothing, let me get paid for that.
Right.
So that might be a thing for people to consider, especially since that seems to be the outlook overall, probably until the 2024 elections.
And we have a Smartfolio that is very dividend. It's not all dividends, but it's very heavily focused on dividends. Can we briefly, in 1 minute, just summarize that for?
Sure. I mean, there's two of them right now. The conservative portfolio is heavily into dividends, and of course, red oil portfolio is very much the same. Red oil is just all oil. The conservative portfolio has oil components, but other components as well that also offer dividends. AT&T. It also has a bond ETF in there that's paying 5.25%. So that has very little volatility. Looks almost like a money market. So those kind of things, you get rewarded if the market goes nowhere. And if the market goes up, you might participate in some of those stocks going up and you get the dividend. If the market goes down, those stocks will go down, but you'll still get paid the dividend. So it is good protection for the downside if you feel the market's going down. And it'll give you reasonable upside because of the dividend if the market goes up. So that seems to be kind of the way I'm noticing some trends inside of our software where people are moving in this direction. But that's their own personal choice.
Right.
And it does make sense. However, those people that are sitting in, for example, the SPY, those things, when they turn around quickly, but they're just not getting the signals. Either one of them, to everybody out there, any one of them you're in will, I feel, perform just as they have in the past. Once the market finds its legs at some point within now in the next year and a half before the elections.